Hello, everyone. We are a little early for the match, but we are here for the Obelisk 61 finals, which is going to be against it's going to be YS Bao against Steve SSJ4. YS Bao already has an invite to the GOAT Format World Championship, so Steve trying to pick up that invite and hopefully not get blocked. YS Bao is our player coming from the winner's bracket side of things, so they only need to win one match, whereas Steve has to win two. But yeah, just wanted to show up a little early just to make sure that we are here for the very beginning of the match. But yeah, hi Stevie baby, hi Keely. It is a fantastic Thursday morning here, which I realize is a little odd. Oh yeah, the decks. Yeah, we have a good old Chaos Turbo mirror match. One player is on Raigeki Break, one player is on Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. So, crossing the fingers, hoping the spies get knocked early, and we have some good matches here. Or match, I guess, with the ES in parentheses, because we're not guaranteed multiple matches. Could definitely happen. Steve wins the first one. These two did play earlier on in the Obelisk, actually in Winners Finals, so not that long ago. I think that's the exact same thing that happened in Obelisk 59 when I streamed the finals. But this is Obelisk 61. Obelisk 60 is actually still playing out. That was the Obelisk that I was in. Spoilers, I'm not anymore. So hopefully we can get that one streamed as well. That one's just taking a little bit longer than 61, though this is 60 and 61 are the last Obelisk tournaments for the year. So, and we still have at least one blocker going in Obelisk 62. So we'll see how many more invites will actually be given out. I am trying to keep an eye on the Discord over here just to make sure we don't have any communication going on. I need to see, but we have not started yet. I don't see any of the communication from either player. So, we're just chilling. I did double check the time zone difference. Starts at 18:30 Central European time, which is in 2 minutes. Welcome HOZB. I don't know if that's supposed to be pronounced a certain way. Hosb. So I'm just gonna go with HOZB. All right. No match yet, but we will get there. I got my invite for Worlds? No. Unfortunately not. Unless I play in one of these LCQs, which I don't think I'm going to, I will be Worlds-less again this year, which is fine. I got close a couple of times this season, but not quite close enough. Let's see. It is 11:30. See, I don't think I can. Can I type in this chat? I'm not even supposed to be in here, but it looks like I could type. Let's go. Nothing. Let's see if they're online here. Might as well, right? Why can I not click down? Offline. Fantastic. And then YS. I don't think there's anything. I think it's just this, right? Yeah. Also offline. Fantastic. Great start. Alright. I hit him up in the Discord. Let's see. I guess YSBow was on 4.5 minutes ago, so. But that's alright. That's alright. Just chill until we get something going on here. Legend of Korra is just an anime with Nessa as a main character. I don't know who Nessa is. I do like Legend of Korra, though. That was pretty good. Definitely not as good as Avatar, but most things are not as good as Avatar. So. Ugh. It's a little early. I knew I'd be up for this, but I didn't really think. I'm like, it's the Thursday morning. It's kind of a weird time to stream. I know it's not Thursday morning for the players, so it makes sense, but it's kind of interesting. But yeah. While we're waiting, how you all doing today? Anybody got cool plans for a Thursday? Cool weekend plans coming up? Anything going on? Just wait for Avatar MTG. Yeah. When does that come out? I actually thought some of the cards were pretty cool. Except what? Aang's not a monk, right? Or something like that? I think that was the case. Can't remember exactly. Alright, we have some typage. One player is ready. Waiting on Steve. Alright, we got the let's go. Fantastic. Like to start these a little early, just to make sure everything's good when we get into the match on time, but sometimes we've got a little bit of waitage time. Hopefully, hopefully we don't have like 13 minutes of wait time, and then the players get in here and the match is like 10 minutes and then we're done. It's always one of the risks you run whenever we stream just the finals, which is how it's kind of been recently. They try to get everybody to stream the full like top 4, and sometimes those streams can go on for a long time. I think the first one that I did was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches, I think is a potential. And I'm pretty sure it went like all 6 matches or something like that. It was a long stream. Which is fine. But we are hosted. So just waiting for the players both to get in here. There we go. We have our match. Let's do it. Finals of Obelisk 61. Final Obelisk of the season, even though 60 is still playing out. Alright, Paper Gang, unfortunately, not getting there. Alright, Maya's about going first here. We know both players are on Chaos Turbo, so could potentially see the old T-set pass here. Maybe a little bit more if we've got a Jar of Greed or a Trap Dust Shoot or no monster. That's also a possibility, I suppose. Just a humble one back row set and a pass. See if Steve has anything a little bit more powerful to follow this up. Throwing down Card Destruction as the first card played. Okay. Maybe we got a handful of Night Assailants. We don't have Thunder Dragon, which is interesting. We're having to think on the Card Destruction. That's interesting. Oh, Bow opened with double Thunder Dragon. Okay, it looks like we've got one Night Assailant to go along with Spy, and we're just ditching. Yeah, Torrential's fine to get rid of here. We got rid of the BLS and the Heavy Storm from Bow's hand, which is pretty good, but we also kind of unbricked the double Thunder Dragon hand a little bit. So there is a dead Thunder Dragon chilling somewhere over there in the deck. We just see one monster set for Steve. Okay. There's the Jar of Greed and the Pot of Greed, okay? Jar of Greed and Upstart Goblin, of course, draw Pot of Greed 100% of the time. So don't know if that Card Destruction was actually that good for the player that played it, but we do have a face down. We know both players know about Spy on Steve's side, so we could have set the Spy here. It could be some sort of mind game where we want the opponent to know about a Spy and then don't set it. Why didn't they search the other Thunder Dragon on their turn? I was thinking the same thing. The only answer I could come up with in my head is like to not reveal the information that there's already a Thunder Dragon in hand, but I guess that matters what specifically for Card Destruction from the opponent. Yeah, the info is the only thing that I can think of, but I am not a turbo player, but it feels like getting the dead Thunder Dragon out of the deck would be a little bit more advantageous than holding a little bit of info. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm very open to that not being correct. I would have slammed it, but that's why I'm over here commentating and not playing for a chance at Worlds, right? It did pay off, but I don't know. Just because something gets paid off does not mean it is correct. Either way, we've got a T set over here for YCS Bow. Just a pass over to Steve, who slams down a Delinquent Duo. It's a good one. Knowing 2 Thunder Dragons are gone from the opponent. What if we hit the third over here? We're going to Dust Shoot in response to the Duo. Okay. See if the players give us any of the information here. We're just going to ride it out not knowing Steve's hand. It appears we are not going to get it. Alright, that is fine. Duo's still getting to rip a couple of cards here. Tsukuyomi out of here, so that one's gone now. And Magician of Faith is going to hit the bin as well, okay? We have to get back with that. Pot of Greed, Heavy Storm. All right, so Steve did set the spy. We are going to get aggressive here with a knock. That's pretty good. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. So we've got 2 spies to none for this game. That's pretty good for Steve here. Getting a nice attack in for 2,400. And do we have any sort of a follow-up? That was a really good turn. We had duo into flip spy, knock the opponent's spies. Get in some damage. Do have a little bit more of a follow-up. We have another face-down monster and a back row. We're pretty even on cards here. Steve is kind of up +1 in a full turn cycle, but looking at 5-5 right now. This graveyard here. Of course, we have a single dark and a whole bunch of lights. BLS is gone. We're having to think over here. Do we have anything to get over the spies here? Snatch Steal will clear both spies if this goes through, assuming we're crashing here. Okay. We do clear both of the spies. It's not really what you want to be using the Snatch Steal on. You'd much rather, save that for some sort of chaos monster, some sort of like a bigger play, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Goat Duels is saying that Heavy Storm may side out against Turbos. The card destruction didn't hit important stuff besides BLS. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking the card destruction was actually like not as good for Steve as it could have been, for sure. Getting the BLS, Heavy Storm is like game 1. You still have the Mirror Force in. We know Steve is playing Torrential and stuff like that. So I think a Heavy Storm is still good, but I do know some people do side it out in the mirror. Having another big think here. But I got my wish. Spies got knocked, and then the other 2 spies that were on the board are already gone. So spies are cleared in the turbo mirrors. So maybe we won't have a stall fest. All right, we do have a Chaos Sorcerer coming down here. That is our first Chaos monster of the day. And I believe we still have... No, Duo's been used. We still have Graceful Charity and Pot of Greed from Steve's side. And we have Graceful Charity and Duo from Bao's side. Duo not looking quite as good here. We do have a Wing Blast spinning a card back to the top of the deck. Using a Night Assailant to get back the Moth too. And we have a knock, okay. Things turning around a little bit here. Night Assailants are going to be getting out of here. That's right. Steve should have a Night Assailant in the graveyard. Yep. Sort coming in for full 2,300. And we do have a face-down monster. That would be the Magician of Faith to follow it up. Got all kinds of stuff in the graveyard to get back here, so that's a good Moth. And we know Steve is drawing some sort of back row that wasn't chainable or just didn't want to chain it there. So, not going to take out the Moths. So, YS Bow not at least going to be able to get back Pot of Greed here. No monster follow-up, just a back row for Steve. I believe, yeah, Torrential is gone, Mirror Force is not gone. I believe Mirror Force is, yeah, Mirror Force is gone for Bow. So, we'll see. That set that got spun back could have been the bluff knock. Maybe it could be something like a Mirror Force here. See how we want to play into it. We're going to summon another Chaos Sorcerer. That's how we're going to play into it. Okay. It is the Mirror Force. All right. We're going to lose all of our Chaos monsters now. Steve has access to all three still, right? Yeah, we haven't seen a Chaos Sorcerer or a BLS. So, one turbo player with 0 Chaos monsters available outside of something like Monster Reincarnation or Premature Burial Call of the Haunted, of course. But our other Chaos Turbo player does have access to all three. Just gotta draw into them. 4,700 life points. Looking pretty good to have enough time to grab those, right? Just a pass from Bow. If I had an advantage bar, I think I would put it firmly in Steve's corner at this point. Game's not locked up by any means, but given the current information we know, Tribe coming in for some damage here. Back in for 1,600. We're looking over the graveyards, thinking if we want to do something about this. Yeah, it'd be kind of tough to like flip a Mirror Force or something here, especially a Raigeki break. Unless we have Serpent as the last card in hand. Ring of Destruction. Not on Raigeki break anyway. Got to confuse her for a second. That was on Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, which feels even worse than Raigeki break to use there, to be honest. Ring not so bad though. Trade 1 for 1. Still at a healthy 5,000 life points. Got a couple of cards in hand. I believe, yeah, 1 knock is still live. That could be good here. Though, not sure how amazing the face down monster is for Steve here. Breaker coming down, taking out the Dead Trap Dust Shoot. Okay. And yeah, it's just a Sinister Serpent. That makes a lot of sense. Though, Serpent would be a good one to knock. It just, you know, wouldn't be like extracting Dakoichis from the deck or anything like that. Let's see if YS Bow can break through here. We can get some damage going. Now after that ring, Steve down to a 3,100. Couple of direct hits from the breaker would do it here. Graceful Charity is an excellent pickup, of course. So once again, we're not drawing into Chaos monsters, so we're gonna have to get this done the scrappy way. No Heavy Storm either. And at the graveyard here, Torrential, Mirror Force, and 1 Raigeki Breaker all gone, so not a whole lot more as far as monster interaction to fight through. At least for, you know, the normal Chaos Turbo build. I don't have access to exact lists. Discarding 2 Upstart Goblins. Alright. Not attacking the Serpent. That makes sense. Thunder Dragons for Steve. Okay, we can clear this breaker if we want to crash. But we do not. Just going to leave them in hand. Maybe help fuel those discard traps a little bit later. Maybe if we draw into a Graceful Charity. Only 17 cards left in the deck, so it's got to be coming eventually. Bow could get full use out of a Delinquent Duo at this point. Only discarding Thunder Dragons, but that could be irrelevant at this point. What did you miss? Not much. We're still in game 1 here of the finals. Just having a good old Chaos Turbo time. Yeah, this is game 1, match 1. All right, we are attacking the Serpent now. Clearing that out of the way. We have any sort of a follow-up here, though. Breaker alone is not going to get it done. But Breaker with some friends very well could. Are in the tank once again. Not that that's a bad thing. I guess only Steve is playing for the invite, but definitely want that prestige of winning the Obelisk, grabbing, you know, multiple invites for this season. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Looking at the graveyards here. I mean, Steve just has, like, the power monsters left. Got to get to him eventually. We know 2 Thunder Dragons in hand, but Sork and BLS have to be coming soon. We haven't seen Graceful Charity. Yeah, no Graceful Charity or Pot of Greed yet either, so those are going to be coming. You know, it's kind of on YS Bow here to close this game out before Steve can get to those. We got to be careful with the Sinister Serpent, of course. That's why, you know, Steve's having to think here in the standby phase. If that is a trap dust shoot back there, we can send that back to the deck, and depending on, you know, what Steve drew, maybe that opens the door for Breaker to start getting in. So there's also, you know, the possibility of, well, maybe I finally drew my Chaos Monster, get the Sinister Serpent back, and then the Chaos Monster's back in the deck. Steve is holding priority here. We're going to Raigeki break the Breaker. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I imagine that is just discarding Sinister Serpent and then getting it back. We didn't actually move the cards, but setting just a monster. Could be the Serpent, could be a new pickup. Don't know. But clearing the only threat from YS Bow, I think, is pretty good for Steve there. So that is Raigeki break number 2 gone. Like, realistically, what do we have left? We do still have a dead Thunder Dragon chilling somewhere over there. We have Decos, of course. That's kind of it. We have 10 banished monsters. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So we've got a Sinister Serpent. We have a Tribe. We have some Decos. And we have a dead Thunder Dragon chilling. Not a whole lot to close out the game, to be honest. But oh, Mind Control. So if this wasn't the Sinister Serpent set, and it's not, it's Deco. Wow. Oh, wow. Bow is not on the Ghost Rider list. This is just Turbo playing Phoenix Wing Windblast. Bow has played both Pot of Greed and Graceful Charity. And has played more Jar of Greeds and more... No, the Upstarts were discarded. But has played more Jar of Greeds and Upstart and Graceful Charity. That's why there's a big difference in the deck size, because Steve has not found the Pot of Greed or the Graceful Charity yet. Hitting this Deco here with the Minecon could be huge, depending on how we follow it up. Can't attack with that, but... Yeah, I don't think... I don't think we're going to have any sort of game shot here. Sand can, all right. Okay, so we know about Double Thunder Dragon, Sinister Serpent. Here comes Trap Dust Shoot, though. Might get that Serpent out of here. No, we're going to take the Chaos Sorcerer we just drew. Wow. Those are some very good turns for Bao there. Get that Sork out of there. We know the hand is Double Thunder Dragon, Sinister Serpent. Sangan at this point is not like the biggest threat in the world, but it could definitely, you know, just like search up Deco, which can either crash with Deco or, I don't know, try to draw into some other stuff. But what are you really drawing into? Tribe, I guess. Guess maybe more Wing Blast, right? We've only seen one of those so far. We're gonna get the Serpent, okay. That is also another option. I was kind of thinking more aggressively, but Sinister Serpent is a very powerful card to fuel those Wing Blasts that may be left. We do see a set from Steve. We know that that is Sinister Serpent, so maybe threatening some offense on the next turn. Potentially tribute that Serpent for Thunder Dragon. Start getting in there a little bit, maybe. Nessa played Empty Jar in this bracket. I respect that. Absolutely respect that. Love me some combo decks. See if we can do something, get this train out of the way, start doing some damage, but I guess like Serpent can attack over Serpent, right? That's a choice you could make. Maybe we've got Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Clear the oh, we do? Okay. Clear the Serpent, I presume. And then maybe have something to get over this Deco here. Oh, I guess I lagged a little bit there too. Sorry about that. We sent the Deco back to the top of the deck and attacked over the Serpent. Okay, so we know the hand is Double Thunder Dragon, Sinister Serpent, Deco. But this is an interesting spot. If you crash Decos, then yeah. So we clear the threat on board, but we still have, I imagine, more Decos over there. At least one. We have Tribe, potentially, that could come down here, deal a bunch of damage. Of course, you do still have Sinister Serpent to block, and, you know, you can just kind of trust the top of the deck here, because you have Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity left, you have Chaos Monsters. But the immediate position here could be a little scary. Maybe we have a third Chaos Sorcerer in the deck for YS Bao. Just slam that down right here. Maybe a Soul of Purity and Light. We do... No, we only have one light in the graveyard, so we couldn't even do Soul of Purity and Light. Unfortunate. We're having to think here. Empty board. We know the hand is Thunder Dragon, Sinister Serpent, so... Nothing immediately threatening. The top of the deck is scary, though. Yeah, here comes Deco. So we're going to take it all the way down to 700 life points. Steve has a Sinister Serpent at the very least to block here. But... Obviously hoping to pick up something a little bit more powerful, maybe a BLS to end the game with exact damage. Would be an attack for exactly 4,600. Graceful Charity, what a draw. That's a very, very good one to see here. I know we're probably just going to get rid of the Thunder Dragon and the Sinister Serpent if I had to guess, but maybe we've got some other stuff in hand that we want to ditch here. Giving it a think, unless I'm lagging again, that's totally possible. No, we are giving it a think. Okay, so I'd imagine we don't have a BLS here. So if we had the BLS, we'd just slam and win, right? So interesting. We might not be thinking about the Graceful Charity discards at all. We could be thinking about sequencing for follow-up turns and just sort of hiding that information. I know that's a thing that people do in card games a lot, while, you know, posturing like you're thinking about one decision that's actually a non-decision. Think about other decisions. What's up, Varia? Things are going well. I respect you bringing an empty jar, though, Nessa. That's awesome. Only top 4. Sag, but hey. It's a good run with empty jar. Though I imagine you probably didn't play empty jar for the Slifer and Raw, right? Was it just for the Obelisk? We're still thinking on the second Graceful Charity discard. Interesting. Play at a reasonable pace, please. Faster! Faster! Oh, we pitched Jar of Greed. Okay. We're keeping the Thunder Dragon in hand. Raw was Chaos Control? Alright. I respect that too. Snatch Steel. We're just going to get in there. Alright. Okay, so Snatch the Deco. Presumably tributed off here for Thunder Dragon, right? Chaos Control in a bracket with 2 Warrior and 1 Horus. That's pretty good. Oh, we didn't tribute the Deco. Okay. Keeping that around. Okay, so the face down, probably another Deco if I had to guess. It would be copy number 3. It's not unheard of in Turbo, that is for sure. It's definitely not a Tsukuyomi. Everything else is good has been knocked or is gone. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one for Wyaspout to get out of here, I think. That Graceful Charity just came at the absolute perfect time. Am I a Chicago Cubs fan? No, I'm the villain. I'm not much of a baseball fan. But I guess historically I have been a New York Yankees fan, so. I did watch a little bit of playoff baseball this year. I normally don't watch until the playoffs, and then I watch specifically the Yankees. excited for basketball season to start, though. Very hyped about that. What's the score here? We are in game 1 of match 1. So the score is a 0-0 for everything. We are having a think here. It's been about a 30-minute game 1, I think. 25-30 minutes. But without the spies like ever being in defense, which is kind of interesting. All right. Deco attacking over Serpent. Like, this is fine for Steve. If this just keeps playing out this way, I think Steve is absolutely favored to take this here. Oh, wait. No, the face down. Okay, the first face down is probably Sinister Serpent. I just forgot about it. Sure. We could honestly just play for deck out here. We don't even need the Chaos Monsters. Ring is already gone for Bow. So... who's coming from the losers bracket? That would be Steve. Steve lost to YS Bow in winners finals. Ring is not still in play for Bow. It was used on Breaker? No, it was used on Tribe a long time ago. I knew it dealt 1600. Yeah, it was used on Tribe. So Bow has not much. Not much left. There's still a dead Thunder Dragon still over there. Jar of Greed with 3 cards left in deck. We're digging here. There's Duo. Sure. Get that information. We have Breaker and Thunder Dragon. There's the Tribe. We're going to kill the Deco. Attack over what I believe is... okay, that one's Deco. Okay. So I believe that means this other one is Sinister Serpent over here, right? What's left in the deck? Not much. We know there's a dead Thunder Dragon somewhere because we've only seen 2. There's one here, there's one that's vanished. But, like, the monsters are just gone. The card in hand, I believe, is Sinister Serpent. So... it's pretty much... I guess. Is there there's a Nobleman of Crossout left, right? You know what? There is still a knock left. So if we guess the Sinister Serpent correctly, and we knock the non-Sinister Serpent, and then we have our Serp run over the Sinister Serpent, Tribe could actually, yeah, Tribe could actually win here if we have knock. Oh, Ceasefire would be hilarious. I don't know if there's Ceasefire left in the deck. It looks like Steve may know the cards that are left. But well, there's Heavy Storm. Did we get the BLS? Jog. Uh-huh. Trap Dust Shoot. Upstart Goblin. Okay. We got 3 cards left with 3 Chaos Monsters still in play. There's no way the bottom of the deck is 3 Chaos Monsters. Right? Have we seen Snatch yet? Yeah, we've seen Snatch. Oh, Snatch grabbed Spy to crash Spies earlier. Yeah, I agree. It definitely feels like Steve's game to lose. Here comes a Chaos Monster. Okay, okay. Tribe's out of here. I think that does it. Unless Bao randomly has a brain control. I guess. We know there's a Thunder Dragon, so maybe if there is a second main deck copy of Mind Control, we could take the Sork, tribute the Serpent for Thunder Dragon and attack in. No Sook. Yeah, here comes face down Thunder Dragon. Okay, well, now Steve just has to pass the turn, right? Unless there's Ceasefire. Yeah, just passes the turn. Wow. Okay. So 30 minutes later, we have game 1 going to Steve by deck out. Oh, Steve added Sook to hand? I completely missed that one. I mean, it wasn't like a lethal attack. So I'm not sure like you needed to do that, but I guess the Sook was there if it was added, yeah. I think playing for a deck out there is totally fine enough. But now we've got to wait for a little bathroom break. We'll get into game 2. Yeah, the Sork in defense is not... I guess the only like way to out that would be second main deck Minecon, right? Chaos Turbo. More like Chaos Crawling. We call it Chaos Slurbo. Alright, well, if Steve wins this next game, then we get a bracket reset. We get another match. If YS Bao wins the next 2 games, then we are donezo. And YS Bao is going to be walking away with another World's Invite for the season. Steve, of course, still looking for the first. Either way, I get to... Actually, I need to... fix this really quick. There we go. Either way, I still get to hear my Pokemon video loop, so I get to hear all the songs once again. I think that game was kind of... It wasn't like over, but it felt like whenever the Chaos Sorcerers got Mirror Forced, that was the beginning of the end, right? Because then, like, Steve had the Pot of Greed, the Graceful Charity, all 3 Chaos Monsters to none of that from Bao's side. 1 down, 5 to go. Yeah, strap in. We're here for a long time today. You never know. The players didn't open like super busted or anything, so there's definitely a chance that some of these games could go pretty quickly. Someone opens up, you know, Thunder Dragon, Full Trinity, BLS, Heavy Storm. We're out of here. But yeah, Chaos Turbo Mirrors, especially with, as y'all can see down here, the Gravekeeper Spy. The mirrors definitely can go long sometimes, that is for sure. I always I always say I would be more inclined to actually play Turbo from time to time myself if Gravekeeper Spy didn't exist. All right, we're back from the break. Game 2 is here. Let's pick up the pace a little bit. Love to hear it. Wonder how it went about it and do the greedy play. It very well may have gone in Bao's favor. Of course, we don't know, but I think having that second Chaos Sorcerer around could have been pretty big. All right, Night Assailants are out of here. Props for Bao actually letting the people witness the deck out. Yeah. I love the pass the turn, go ahead and pass it back to me. Steve's starting out pretty hot here. We got the knock on the Night Assailants, Delinquent Duo. There's Chaos Monster number 1, and there's Thunder Dragon. Did we open double Thunder Dragon again? And decided to not use it? Maybe it's triple Thunder Dragon. Maybe these last 2 cards are just Thunder Dragons. Either way, looks pretty good for Steve here, right? Just right off the bat. Yeah, there's Thunder Dragon. Okay, so we opened Thunder Dragon and didn't activate. 2 games in a row. Interesting. So we know 1 Thunder Dragon in hand. We don't know the other cards. But Duo hitting one of the Thunder Dragons is pretty nice there. I guess it was guaranteed to hit one of them, but... We are in the tank once again. We have double Thunder Dragon in hand for Steve, so 3 back row are the potentially relevant cards that do things right now. Breaker coming down to maybe say something about that. We are attacking. I love it. That Mirror Force isn't in the deck anymore. Let's get in for an extra 300 damage. Right, Geki break. Okay. We didn't use it on the summon, so that definitely gives us some information about this back row there. Geist versus Killer was 3 hours? That sounds about right. Yeah, another Jar of Greed. That makes sense. That makes sense, yeah. Definitely not going to ring the breaker on summon if those are going to be your back row. Upstart Goblin coming down as well. Drawing all the cards over here. Can we find any power cards? Can we get some aggression going? We have a... Nope, just a set monster. Okay. It looks like I lagged a little bit there too, so... Luckily, the lag's not, like, cutting out huge portions of the game. Had one stream where it cut out, like, 2 or 3 turns. And then it's like, all of a sudden, the cards are just, like, flying on the field. Alright, we've got a Wing Blast. No Serpent to pitch to it, just a Thunder Dragon, but we're going to set Steve back a turn here, at least a little bit. Is the background from the 3rd gen Pokemon? I don't think this specific song is from 3rd gen. Actually, it might be. This is from Fire Red Leaf Green. So, yeah, pretty close to 3rd gen. But it is, it's actually a mix. It's got 3rd gen, 2nd gen, 1st gen. Before I get too distracted far off here. We do have some aggression for Steve now. Tribe and Deco both getting in there. Taking Wise Bow down to 6,000. All the Thunder Dragons are gone. I believe we don't know any cards. Wise Bow's hand at this point. Hold priority on Pot of Greed. Okay. This is the ending credits for Fire Red Leaf Green. You're correct, one guy. That is an excellent pull. All right, Raigeki break the back row. It is Trap Dust Shoot. Okay. All right, a great hold of priority there. Suit coming down. All right, this we might be wrapping this first match up here. I think we're gonna get a bracket reset if I had to guess. Last bound down to 1900. 2 cards in hand. Steve's got all the cards in the world. We've got a T set. Okay. Hold priority. Do we have Raigeki break again? Pass priority. There's the Trap Dust Shoot. We didn't get any of the information last time, so imagine we're probably not going to know what's in Steve's hand again, but we shall see. Maybe it's the old activate, trap, dust, shoot, concede line. It is. We have to reschedule the finals. Hello? Can we do that? How does this work? Okay. So, I guess, I don't know if that's allowed. Let me... I mean, they did finish one match, right? So, like, they just have to play another match, but, before I jump off here, I'm gonna see if we've got some discussion here. Because, he's unavailable for the next 10 days. I'm gonna make sure there's no like discussion in the chat that I can see. Now, if they're obviously, you know, DMing each other, then oh, Steve's actually messaging me. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably is allowed, just because they are technically different rounds. But I was hoping we'd have some sort of like closure for the stream here. So Steve on a heater. This is a cooling attempt. Yeah, we gotta ice the kicker here, right? Because, like, I mean, all right, Steve doesn't have any idea what the plan is. I mean, like, I would side with someone, you know, if they actually got a call from work and they gotta go work, like, sure, we'll do the match whenever we can, but, you know, me sitting over here watching the match, not being a part of it, is selfish. Is just like, give me Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, I understand life stuff comes up, so like I'm not bashing YS Bow or anything. I was just kind of hoping that maybe they'd figure out something here in like the next couple of minutes. And then like, I don't know, the employer would be like, you know what, you don't have to come in. I know how often that happens, right? It may not be like on call, may have just gotten a call. I don't know. I don't know the working situation. I don't know anything personally about the player, but looks like I don't know. Looks like we are not getting our second match, but there is a bracket reset. So when this, I guess this will go up on YouTube immediately as a VOD, I'm going to change it to part 1 and the title to part 1. And whenever we get the second match, I'm going to try to stream that as well. So we'll have Obelisk 61 part 1, Obelisk 61 part 2. Hopefully we'll get Obelisk 60, which is getting very close to the finals. Hopefully we'll get that streamed on the channel as well. And we can finish out the season with a whole bunch of Obelisk streams. But it looks like Obelisk 61.5 finals. That's the way to do it right there. But yeah, unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to get our second match. So sorry, guys. This is, you know, not the ideal scenario, but hey, thanks to everybody who did hang out for the stream. Thanks to everybody who will show up for the second one, assuming that I can stream the other finals match whenever that happens. But yeah, no winner yet, no invite yet, but we will have one more match for Obelisk 61, and we do have Obelisk 60 finals coming up sometime in the near future as well, like I've said 5 times now. But yeah, that's going to be the stream. Once again, thanks everybody for hanging out. All that good stuff. But we are out of here. Have a good day, good night, good afternoon, wherever you all are.